Today's video is on fire, so get ready, because today's news is going to stir the emotions of every Newcastle fan. We've got a heartfelt message from a player who might be on his way out, a bombshell meeting behind the scenes involving the Champions League. And at the end, the main headline, Newcastle could be about to sign a new striker, and the price has dropped dramatically. That's a story in the thumbnail and the title, so you already know. Watch until the end, because that's the cherry on top. Our News 1, Callum Wilson breaks the silence. Let's kick things off by talking about one of Newcastle's most important players in recent years, Callum Wilson, our number 9, who's been with the club since 2020. 5 years wearing the black and white. But now, everything could be about to change. Wilson's contract runs out at the end of June, and so far, no new deal confirmed. That's right, he could be leaving. And if he does, his last appearance might have also been his final one in a Newcastle shirt. The 2024-25 season was tough for him. He picked up an injury, missed several months, and only returned in February. Even then, he only started 2 games and didn't score in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Alexander Isak stole the show, scoring an incredible 27 goals and cementing himself as the team's main striker. But Wilson hasn't stayed silent. He appeared on the High Performance podcast and opened up about his situation. He said he understands the timing, recognizes that Isak is flying, but still feels a huge hunger to play, to compete. And he was honest. I know my worth. I know I can still help and put food on the table for my family. It's not about money. I still have ambition. He also explained that his mindset as a footballer is changing. Like many strikers, he used to be very individual, focused on scoring, being the star. But now, at 33, he sees himself more as a leader, mentoring younger players like Isak and Will Ozula, who's just joined. He says he feels more mature, more fulfilled. He's happy with his family, with life off the pitch, and is now at a point where he wants to give back, to pass on his knowledge. It almost sounds like he's preparing for the next chapter of his career. But his future is still very much up in the air. Newcastle haven't triggered the automatic renewal clause, but are said to be open to a new contract with more performance-based bonuses and targets. The board seems keen to keep him, but under different terms. So here's the question. Will Wilson accept this new challenge and stay a bit longer? Or is he looking for one last adventure elsewhere? Because the tribute he got at St. James Park during that end-of-season lap of honor, it felt like a farewell. News 2, Champions League confirmed and transfer pressure mounts. Now get this, Newcastle are back in the Champions League. Yes, after a roller coaster end to the season, we've secured the spot. Even though we lost a final game, luck was on our side. Here's what happened. We lost at home to Everton in a match where we gave it a go, but just couldn't find a way through. For a moment, it looked like our Champions League dream had slipped away. But then came the twist. Manchester United beat Aston Villa, and that result secured our place, even in defeat. It was tense, but it worked out. And before the players had even left the pitch, the board had already sprung into action. There was a high-level meeting straight after the game, involving club chairman Yasir Al-Rumayyan and manager Eddie Howe. No time for celebration. The topic? The transfer window. Howe didn't waste words. He told the board Newcastle can't afford to wait around. Top players don't stay on the market for long. If we want to keep climbing, we need to move fast and move smart. Now the push is on target scouting, negotiations, contact with agents. Everything needs to be accelerated to get the right players in before pre-season even starts. And here's the thing. With Champions League football, Newcastle becomes one of the hottest destinations in Europe. The conversation with players completely changes. Before, we were a project in progress. Now, we're an established force competing in the biggest club competition on the planet that attracts big names, players who want exposure and trophies. Even Howe said publicly that the club's ambitions have grown. The chairman wants quick results, not just participation, but silverware. And Howe knows the expectations are rising. He's done a great job so far, but now it's about building a deeper, more experienced, more competitive squad to handle both the Premier League and the Champions League. The expectation? Big names. Signings that raise the level immediately. And the fans are tuned in. After everything we've been through, this Champions League spot means far more than just qualification. It's a clear signal that Newcastle are back at the top, and with the money, infrastructure, and fan base we now have, it's time to dream bigger. News 3. Today's big bombshell, Calvert-Lewin to Newcastle. And now, the reason you clicked on this video. There's a bombshell in the transfer market, and the name is Calvert-Lewin. That's right, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Everton centre-forward, could be on his way to Newcastle United. You might remember, Newcastle tried to sign him last year, when Everton was struggling. But back then, they slapped a huge £40 million price tag on him. Too much, especially considering his injury history. But now, the situation has changed completely. Calvert-Lewin's contract is about to expire next month, and his future at Everton is hanging in the balance. Even manager Sean Dyche confirmed that the club will make an official announcement on Monday. That means something big is coming, and Newcastle are ready to pounce. With Callum Wilson's future still uncertain and no renewal confirmed, Calvert-Lewin is emerging as a potential replacement. He's 28, has solid Premier League experience, and was even Harry Kane's understudy for England at one point. Yes, injuries have hampered him in recent years, but he finished this season strong, playing a key role in helping Everton stay up. And here's a key factor, Eddie Howe. The Newcastle boss has a real reputation for reviving careers. He's done it with Joe Linton, Almiron, Fabian Schär, players who found new life under his leadership. Could Calvert-Lewin be the next one? Even the player himself has been sending mixed signals. In interviews, he's spoken positively about Everton's future, mentioning the new stadium and long-term vision. But has also said, in football, anything can happen. And when players say that, there's something going on behind the scenes. And here's the juiciest bit. With his contract running down, Calvert-Lewin could be available for far less than the £40 million quoted last year. This could be a bargain deal, a Premier League proven forward, hungry to prove himself again, and a great fit for Newcastle's system. So now the question is, will Newcastle move quickly? With Champions League football secured, the pressure to strengthen the squad is on, and this might be one of the first major moves of the summer. So stay tuned. This story is just beginning, and Calvert-Lewin at St. James Park might become reality sooner than we think. And that's it for today. Callum Wilson might be saying goodbye. Newcastle are already working behind the scenes, and Calvert-Lewin's name is gaining serious traction as a potential new signing. Now tell me in the comments, would you like to see Calvert in a Newcastle shirt? And what about Wilson? Does he deserve a new deal, or is it time to move on? If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because tomorrow we got more hot updates about our beloved Newcastle United. See you then.